a show of tale, a show of love, a show of tale, mi Nerdo.
Do that again right here.
Mi
Right here.
Nerdo.
Do it closer to them. Come on. Oh, that was awesome. Mi Nerdo. Like that? Welcome to a new episode of Mean
Welcome to
Nerdo.
a new episode of Mi Nerdo.
A podcast.
A podcast about strange, funny animals. A bunch of dumb animals.
Manimals. A show about manimals, yes. A podcast show that looks back at various eras of classic cartoon shows from decades past.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I'm like the guest, Daddy.
Mm-hmm. Today, we have our guest, my son, my 8-year-old son, Moises de Leon.
And my other guest, the dinosaurs.
And he has his friends here with him, a bunch of dinosaurs. Can you introduce your dinosaurs?
I have Titano, Gregor, Moza, Carno, Carnal, and Stiggy.
And what are they?
Dinos.
Yeah, but what kind of dinos?
Stiggy is some sort of plant eater that I do not know the name of. Moza is a mosasaurus, of course. Titano is a T-Rex. Carno and Carnal are Carnotosauruses. And Gregor is also a T-Rex.
Tell me who you got first. Which dinosaur did you end up getting first?
Well, first I got Carno, then came Moza, then Stiggy, then Carnal, then Titano and Gregor. And I have yet to find other guys like Grumpy the Triceratops and Sorrow the Sorrow.
Cool. And did I buy most of these for you?
Yep.
Which one was a gift?
I need to tell you people that the director is my dad.
That's right. The dad director, right?
Mr. Omar. The Omar director.
The Omar guy. That guy. How's it going, everybody? This is a new recording of the podcast show, Mean Nerdo. And today we are interviewing Adolfo Meza. I've known Adolfo for maybe 7 or 8 years now, which is crazy because time flies. Well, we met through the sisters. So I was married to his wife's sister. And so it's funny is because we got an experience from that, right? We both didn't make the cut. I guess we didn't fit the job description to the T, and so we both got the axe, kind of almost at the same moment in history. But it is what it is. I mean, we met that way, and we spent time. We built a relationship, because of family, and we, here we are. I mean, here we are today, and now it's kind of like we're both starting from scratch, from a new, unknown, sort of terrifying place. But we'll get through it, and I'm kind of blessed that he is. I guess he's in the picture still. I mean, because we can collaborate in projects and things like that. So anyways, I wanted to give a little bit of background on who we are going to be talking to today. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope you enjoy it. How's Kim and Gabi, dude? How they doing?
I think they're solid. They're still in TJ. They haven't. I don't think they left their home that much.
Yeah, dude.
Because of COVID-19.
Yeah, dude, because of that crap.
Exactly. Because of
Hey,
COVID.
I heard you say the C word. I heard you. I'm watching you, Dad. Always
I know. You're always watching me, dude. So the episode that we're going to watch is DuckTales. Once Upon a Time is the episode. And it was from season 1, episode 61. And it aired December 24th,
Whoa, DuckTales is a lot.
1987.
1987? What's in the 1980s?
Yup, dude. Yeah, we were...
7.
How old were you? You were what?
I was 7 years old. That's when my parents got divorced, man.
Oh, damn. 7 years old, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a bad word.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm currently an executive coach specializing in powerful leadership for impact companies.
And what is that exactly? What's your role as far as what does that look like?
Yeah, my role is making sure that leadership understands what that means. To build powerful companies, you need to build powerful teams. You need to multiply yourself and get everybody to understand the mission, not just work for it, but work with you towards a common goal. And so my mission is to making people understand where their power comes from and how their team can be more cohesive, build that trust among themselves so that they can get and drop barriers to success. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah, so it's like you're like there to counsel the team,
yeah,
and the companies can vary, right? It can be anything.
my key focus are startups and what I like to call companies of impact. So whether it be social, food, um, green industry, if you will, I like to work with those teams that are looking for building a better tomorrow and getting them to identify the red flags that they might find today, that are all sort of across the board the same for startups and businesses. And I help them build a better cohesive team,
Right on.
find strength in their mission, find strength in their communication amongst each other so that they can feel more powerful as individuals, more purposeful as individuals, and find a more powerful, more successful company.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Um, I mean, I think everybody needs that, right? Like just in life in general, just yeah, man, someone who's pushing you, motivating you. I mean, you've always been that way, like that I ever since I've known you. So that's great that you've kind of fallen into your calling, your natural instinct of the things that you find purpose in. So
I mean, you hit it on the head. I've always been that way. And so over the past couple of years, I've had to do that process for myself, right? I mean, you can go back as to what did you study or what are you good at? And I mean, I'm good and I like helping startup companies prepare to raise funds and be successful. But it's not just about the money, right? It's about the mission.
right,
um, and when you get past that, we have the money and we have the team. You have to be cohesive unit, right? You have to be battle ready, and you have to understand that you have humans working for a company. And so,
yeah,
yeah, you hit it on the head. I found my calling, and I'm working my way up to coach as many executive teams as I can to make sure that we're all successful. Because ultimately, we're here all on one world, right?
yeah, dude,
And I want to have an example for my children as to what it means to lead, and it doesn't necessarily need to attach itself to a particular company or a particular financial outcome. I want to help companies that want to make an impact, and I want to ensure myself that I can see other humans that are potentially struggling through that process to be able to find the strength and the power within themselves to identify their dreams and to find the tools that they need to build a strong team that can identify hurdles, get rid of roadblocks, find ways to think outside the box so that we can make an impact. So I found myself needing that, and I found myself being good at pushing people forward and getting them to think outside the box and getting them to trust in their own dreams. So I guess I'm believing in myself again.
yeah. That's great, man. But so I'm gonna show a clip, dude. I'm gonna show the intro of the cartoon. We're gonna segue into that. Yeah, dude. I mean, la inocencia, like the innocence of all that. But
Man, it got me. That whole intro song gets me singing it in my head. I got as excited as I used to
Me
when
too.
they
I
would
guess
come
I
on
was
when I was a kid.
yeah, dude. I know it's So you are what? You're like a year younger than me, right? Because I'm 41. You're what? 40?
I'm 40. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that we were that age. I mean, 7 to me, 7, 8, right? That's Moy's age, dude. And
Yeah,
that's just like, I mean, I definitely felt older, you know? Like I felt I just felt old already, you know? Like I felt like I knew what was going on in the world, and but now I'm like, dude, that's still like a little kid, man, you know, like um I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to like wrap my head around that one. But
yeah,
yeah, we were that old when this show came out. And again, you kind of mentioned that that was kind of like a period in your life where you experienced craziness, right? Like a crazy change in your life.
yeah. Heartbreak, man. I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 7.
Yeah.
Um, my sister moved away to Mexico City not long after that, and so
Oh
I kind of
wow.
became I kind of became the single kid. Um, it was not an easy period of my life, you know.
Yeah,
And
dude.
so, but yeah, I know.
who did you end up staying with the most? Like your sister, were you and your sister close before that?
Not that much because my sister is
Oh, a lot
six and a
older.
half. She's 6.5 years older than me.
Oh, I see.
So I was a kid. She was a teenager. Her friends would come over. Um, I was kind of battling for attention. She was a teenager that kind of, you know, was
Right.
going through her, don't get into her stuff. She already felt old, and I was a kid. And I see what you're saying. Like, I already felt like I could understand it all. And so
Yeah,
it was, I could never really identify. Like, my relationship with my sister got better when we were substantially older.
I see.
Um,
Yeah,
but to answer your question, I kind of stayed with my father for a little bit, and then the relationship with my stepmom was never really solid.
right.
So I I moved with my mother when I was maybe 8. Like it lasted about a year or so,
Oh,
year
okay.
maybe 2.
Yeah.
Um, and then I lived with my mom the rest of my life till I moved out.
Yeah, you just kind of and you just preferred it that way, right? You kind of mix in a little better with mom or what?
Yeah, my mom's more of the hippie thinker, artsy.
Yeah.
You know, you know her well, so it kind of jived more
With who you
my
were.
theatrical
Yeah. With
with
who
who I
you
was.
Yeah. What did the show do for you then for in that period of your life, you know? I'm sure it might have it's a great distraction, you know, the show.
Yeah, it was a great distraction because it was full of adventure, right? I mean, those ducks could get into all the trouble in the world, and they would always find a way out of it. It didn't really matter who was chasing them down, or whatever. They were having a boatload of fun. They stayed with their Uncle Donald, who, I don't really know the dynamics of that family. It's kind of weird, right? Like they lived with
Yeah.
their uncle, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah, like we never know who the parents are, right? Of the nephews. They're just like,
no,
yeah. Well that
no, and Donald's a single parent, so the poor guy's like going up in smoke all the time, trying to make sure that they're safe. But
right.
he's out there working, doing something. So they're always doing. They always go to Uncle Scrooge's house, and the guy's the filthy gazillionaire, right? He swims in money,
Mhm.
and but he's also full of adventure, right? Like he's a
Yeah.
Scrooge, but he's always got like things to do and maps to explore and brings the kids along.
Yeah,
And
dude, that was the exciting part of the show for me too. Was like the adventure of it, right? Like it's like, oh man, where are they gonna go next? You know, and what are they gonna get into? But yeah, that going back to the family dynamic though, it's interesting, man, because it's like it does play to a little bit of what we were talking about earlier. It's like, okay, it's kind of a not a what's the word? Just you know,
not a traditional family.
it's not a traditional family. You know, it's like, okay, the nephews live with the uncle, with Uncle Donald, but Donald, I think Donald because he was a sailor or something, and I don't know,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he dropped them off with Scrooge, and the kids would hang out with Scrooge, and so yeah, it's a cool sort of dynamic there, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, let's watch like the first half of it, and then we'll
Okay.
get more ideas of what we can talk about. Once Upon a Dime. We're watching Once Upon a Dime.
That doesn't make any sense.
I always thought Scrooge had a interesting accent, and I think at that age I didn't realize, oh, that's Scottish, like
Right.
and it's crazy, dude, because my neighbor at that time, she was a Scottish woman, so I would listen to her accent and be like, wait, why does she sound like that? I didn't understand, what where it came from, but
Right.
but yeah, right there it's laying it out, man. A little bit of his history. So what do you feel from that? I mean, what do you gather
So
from how the setup
what
of
I
the
gather,
show?
what I gather is that it's actually really impactful because of what we spoke about, right? What I like to do are startups, and I risked a lot to move away from comfort and be able to give my shot at leadership and success and startups and creating your own thing, and so that lesson of he goes into the first bank and he's like, I want to be the president of this bank, and I want to get all this and that and that, and boom, gets kicked right out the door.
Yeah,
And and the place where he ends up working is like, you get paid nothing, you work for tips, this is how you do it. And he goes like, okay, right? So he learns that you start at the bottom regardless, and I think it's really cool that that's how they decided to start Scrooge, rather than he inherited something and it just grew it.
yeah,
So
definitely. It makes because I mean I remember kind of thinking, oh, Scrooge was kind of a jerk sometimes, but now that you kind of understand like this background to him, then you're like, okay, he's a hard worker. It didn't come easy for him, and yeah, he had to start at the bottom. So
it gives value to heart,
yeah,
right? And to like following your dreams and not letting go of those dreams regardless of what whoever says, which
right.
is, I think, a really powerful message, especially to kids, man. I'm 7 years old and you're absorbing. You start at the bottom. Don't let go of these dreams, because you know what Scrooge turns into, right?
Yeah,
So you're absorbing. Also, you're absorbing the truth that the U.S. is the land of opportunity, right? Like, I'm not going to go all into there isn't opportunity anywhere else in the world, but by far, this country is the land of opportunity, right? And
yeah.
we're fighting to keep it an opportunity that's equal for all, and that if you have a dream, you can follow it, work hard, and find a team that will absorb this dream with you, right? And go build it.
Hey, dude. Sorry. Can I put you on a pause real quick? I'm just gonna check on Moy's food real quick, cause I got
Yeah,
I
hit
got
it.
I got something in the oven, dude.
Yeah,
Platica,
no worries.
platica contigo. Yeah, he's listening to you, dude.
Yeah. Hey, Moy,
Hey,
Moy,
yeah.
what are you doing? Come on, scoot over to the screen so I can see your face. What are you watching on the phone?
I'm playing an animal simulator.
Animal simulator. And what are you simulating? What animal?
A donkey.
A donkey. Does it carry stuff around?
Yep.
Let me see. Hold it up a little bit higher. Cool. What are do you have names for your dinosaurs?
Yep. Gregor,
What are they?
Moza. They're right here, except that you can't see them. They're not on the camera screen.
Well, no, the two that are in front of you, I can see them. The T-Rex,
Yeah, their names are Titano and Gregor.
Titano, and Gregor. Which one's Titano? The T-Rex?
Yep. Gregor is the little
And the other
one.
one? And what do you know the type of dinosaur the little one is? Is he also a T-Rex?
Yep.
Ah, cool. What did you watch this DuckTales episode before, or is it the first time you watch it?
I've never seen any DuckTales episodes before, so I think this might be my first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you liking it? They're fun.
Dude, there's a cow on this roof. There's a cow's head on this roof. There's
Show me.
there's a dead cow.
A dead cow. Show me. Put it up on the screen so I can see it. No, but higher, so you can see it. No, more higher. Okay, there's a donkey.
See it in the back.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I see it. Small. What's it doing there?
Dead cow's head on a roof.
freaks me out, dude.
Dead cow's head on a roof.
No. No.
Moo.
What are you gonna have for dinner, Moy?
Some chicken nuggets and some French fries.
Ooh. Sounds good.
Say bye. Say bye to Theo. Well,
See
you're
ya.
gonna see him. You're gonna see him right
See you later, alligators. In a while.
Yeah.
crocodile.
Tell me if they're good, all right? They're good, right? Or are they hot?
I'll go.
All right, dude. All right, man. I'm multitasking. He likes playing that. He showed you, right? The animal simulator.
A dead cow's head.
Oh my god! And it's like the I guess what do you call it? The programming of the game is like kind of glitchy.
Glitchy, yeah.
So the animals will all of a sudden like pop up out of nowhere, or like it reminds me of that of the 007 game that when the graphics were kind of choppy.
One time I saw a lamb and its head glitched.
Oh my gosh!
Are you talking about the GoldenEye game?
Yeah, the GoldenEye game. Yeah.
Wow, dude, I used to play that game so much.
Oh yeah, same here, dude. Yeah, it was.
The glitching.
But sorry, man, I cut you off. But yeah, we're.
Adolfo, one time I saw a lamb and its head glitched. It like popped out. It was like long as a brachiosaur. It was like as long as a sauropod neck.
Turned into a giraffe.
Its head was as long as a sauropod.
Dude, his vocabulary is like off the charts right now.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy. It's better than Santi's, man.
No way, really?
I think so.
Nah. Yeah, he likes reading a lot, dude. So it's good. But yeah, we're kind of on a roll a little bit. Do you want to watch another clip, or did you have something?
I want to watch another clip. I will. I want to watch another clip.
All right, let's watch another clip real quick. All right, cool. All right, you can hear that, right, dude?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pause right there. But yeah, you want to say anything to that?
Yeah, well, it goes maybe a little bit to what you said earlier about, we're talking about the land of opportunity, and then maybe somebody saying that, it might be fixed, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so you either learn the law and you learn your rights and you defend them and you get a team behind you, right? Because that's all that matters, man. I don't want to subscribe to the fact that because I'm Mexican, I will not be able to, or because I'm a person of color, I will not be able to. No, I mean, maybe we start further back in the line, and maybe that's not fair, and maybe we need to work on getting that changed for the future of our kids and our legacy. But I'll be damned if I make that stop me personally. Right?
Yeah.
It just means you have to work harder and smarter and potentially suffer more losses than other people that were more set up. But at the end of the day, that's my battle to fight. Right? And that's kind of how I like to prepare others to think, is that, this is the individual battle, right? And this part of the episode of them fighting together for how they will potentially win or lose that race is kind of like the race that we're all in right now. Probably as a kid, I was just full of anxiety because they weren't winning, right?
Yeah.
But right now, if I analyze it, that's what I come to is like when you play a little bit more of that clip. Actually, play some more of that clip so you can see what they are doing. So
yeah, let me do that real quick.
It's a double-edged sword of what winning means for the uncle and Scrooge himself, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into it. Here we go.
Used every dusty trick in the book, and some he just made up. But Uncle Catfish and I weren't out of the running yet.
Okay, let me stop.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Continue. Go ahead.
So it's like, so you can see we were partners, but the guy was like an employee/slave for the guy, right? So is that how you got rich? No, that's how Uncle Catfish got rich.
Yeah.
He gave me $50, right? So even though the uncle would have potentially never gotten that plantation, or potentially lost the race, even though he won the race because of Scrooge's ingenuity and his ability to get him out of, from his suspenders, it didn't matter to the person in charge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and it's playing to that idea that we're talking about, that the hurdles will never end. Really, I mean, it's constantly going to be something pushy. There's energy and forces that are always going to be there to say it's here to stop you, or there's going to be something in the way, right? But you're right. I mean, it's your decision, right, to either stop there, get discouraged, give up. Or you decide, no, all right, whatever. You shake it off, you get back up, and you keep going. So yeah, man, that's super impactful for sure, and for a little kid too. To understand that, to grasp that's important.
For me to make some tracks of my own.
I'm gonna pause real quick right there.
Oh,
Yeah, because I had a couple thoughts, but yeah, I mean, I think us as also, sons of immigrants or immigrants ourselves, like it's telling that story too. Like, I mean, he came from Scotland and came to America, and like everybody, right? Everybody comes to America from somewhere else. So, so yeah, I mean, it's cool, man, because it is talking also about race, ethnicity, and the clash there, right? Like, obviously the Beagle Boys are like American, but even themselves, right? They probably came from somewhere else as well. And
what I like about what you're saying is, so the Beagle Boys are American. So is that guy that swindled him out of all his money,
right,
selling him the no trees and sold him a railroad without any tracks. And
yeah.
so he still fought through it, promised people, we're going to go build this. So, help me lay the tracks. And they get to Oklahoma and now there's no trees. Right. So
yeah, getting played. Yeah.
At this point, all that matters is his dime and the guy's heart, because he could have stayed in the gold mine, made a boatload of gold, but decided that something was better. So he got swindled out of all of that success. And now he starts from scratch a second time.
Yeah.
Right? So it values a lot who Scrooge is as a person. And so, to your point, as an immigrant, I mean, you could be, well, the guys that are here have it better, but do you really want to be a swindler or a Beagle Boy? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he values his heritage. The boys, by this point in the episode, are repeating the work smarter, not harder line, which is really cool, because in these stories, it's teaching you how mentorship works, right? Scrooge isn't really gonna give these kids money. They're taken care of, but they're not rich. He's rich.
Yeah.
But he's putting in their heart what was put into his heart by his father, by Papa or whatever.
Well, let's watch I think it's leading up to the end, because I'm curious now. Like, well, how the hell did he make his money? How did he get rich? Yeah. So let me get to.
I mean, at this point, he got his kilt back and his dime. That's all that he got back.
Yeah, he hasn't. That's all he owns right now. He also mentioned that he wanted more stuff, but I wonder if that's what he actually, fulfilled him, right? Well,
so I think it was. Yeah, let's go a little bit deeper into what he meant by more, because he had this gold mine and he was freezing his butt off, right? Getting gold. It was enough for him to send money back home and for him to buy a train.
Yeah.
So, right, like, I mean, he didn't.
Yeah, he was doing. He was doing something. He was getting something, But
getting something. He was getting somewhere. Like, his adventure wasn't over.
Right.
And so he's like, no, I just need to invest all of this so that I can make my next thing. Which actually, I mean, if we can go a little bit deeper into this theme before you hit play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
That's what happened to me. Right.
Yeah.
It's damn the money. Where am I? I'm not there yet. My lessons have taught me stuff. They've prepared me. I'm full of tools, and I know that I have enough in my heart and in my head to go forward. and I'm not there yet, right?
Yes.
So there's that sense of fulfilling your personal passions and sort of building a legacy that I think it's important for all of us, right? Like I try to talk to people about finding your your source of income by aligning it to your passions, not just getting a job, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you have a job that pays you a bunch, you're going to end up old and regretful, right? You're going to miss that adventure. And we know that Scrooge is an adventurous guy, even when he has the tower full of money to swim in. All of the episodes are him actually going and being in an adventure.
Yeah.
And so his heart is this adventurer,
Yeah.
right? He's successful in business because usually people that are adventurous and risk takers and lesson learners versus I'm just going to say crybabies, right?
Yeah.
End up showing success in a manner of having money to show for it. But that's not what success means, because you have a boatload of rich people that are full of regret, that didn't meet their passion and are not considered per se successful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
right?
man. Oh, yeah, dude. I think you just illustrated all that quite profoundly, dude. I think yeah, you hit it on the head. I mean, it's like, yeah, you could have a boatload of money, but if you know you're not happy, you're not happy. You know what I'm saying? Because you're missing something. You're missing the
Right.
picture. And yeah, I think the character of Scrooge here, he's kind of well rounded in that sense. Is that yeah, he has all this fortune and gold and all that, but yeah, you see him swimming in his money and going to places and learning new things. And yeah, I mean, you just like described it so well right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you there, man.
And I mean, you know what? I mean, to go even a little bit deeper into it, I think that from personal experience and just even watching it in this cartoon, it's how you get there as a person, because we're all individuals, right? And regardless, we build a family, we build legacy, but we're here alone, right? We're born alone, we die alone. We hopefully make a unit and make other people successful, and they share in our success and our troubles. But you also have to deal with betrayal,
Yeah,
right? And I mean, this guy that sold him the train betrayed him. His uncle promised him to be partners, but didn't really tell him what it was until the end,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what we didn't see is him being broken over that, which
R-
I think is an important lesson for all of us, because we all will deal with betrayal, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
And you either sit there sinking from it, which we all will for a little bit, or you take those lessons in and you take those as fuel to find where your spirit wants to go. Because again, your spirit didn't come with all of those connections to this place, right? You're really there to make this next step, or potentially empower other people. And until you are able to connect to that drive, um, we sit without being to progress. So I really like the fact that this episode showed the determination of Scrooge, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Let's see.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're like hitting it out of the park right now. So that's good. I'm gonna just play the next clip and then
Yeah,
we'll move on.
yeah, hit it.
I think it's like 5 more minutes or so.
Let them have that.
Yeah.
So I buried it right in the center of my worthless timberland. What a
Oh shit.
Dang. Did you get that, man?
Oh man, yeah, that was beautiful, dude. That was yeah, it made me well up, dude. I mean, I'm holding
I know.
tears, holding tears in my eyes. Uh,
I know.
dude, that's beautiful. I mean,
I'm trying not to let the knot on my throat go any further up, because
yeah,
and this is, I think, where it's okay to go deep, man, because we we identify what's valuable to us, and not everybody understands that same value. And unfortunately, we do live in a world, man, where you're seen with a price tag,
Yeah.
where success means how much money you make. And I don't like coming from that spot. I appreciate legacy and being able to leave an example of hard work. And I do, like Scrooge, want to get to that point where you can swim in your money bin, right? Who doesn't?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when he got to the money bin is when he felt poorer than ever, right? And
Yeah.
so, because his parents weren't there, he already had achieved it all. He couldn't go any higher in the cash. And so now he had to answer that question. Are you rich now? Well, no, I'm alone. I don't have my family, which is what he really needed in his heart, right?
Yeah.
But just the tone in his voice of saying, "Don't you realize this, boys? Your uncle went to sea, and so he left you with me." And it was the first time in my life that I felt really rich. And so you got more there with you. I got my two sons. Um, we could go on another episode of how hard it is to sort of, um, be try to show them and be who you thought you would be for them, and then be able to get there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And 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 still know that you are there,
Right.
that you are that man, and that I'm that man, and that they have us complete and whole. And and until that we get taken away, um, they are our legacy. And so that is the treasure, right? And so that's why when you asked me at the beginning, what do you do and how did you get to doing what you want to do, is I had to remind myself why I feel powerful. Where do I think my words matter the most? Not which battles I'm going to fight or what things break my heart, but where does my heart tell me that I'm going to be more impactful, regardless of how much struggle I do or how many times I get swindled out of whatever I've worked hard for. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's a beeline towards finding that fulfillment so that my sons can see it. And I'm actually glad that they see me through the struggle so that when they grow up, they don't just believe it was magic,
Right.
right? They
Yeah.
can remember that it took work and heart and tears and screaming,
Yeah.
um, to get to the place. Listen, I made a decision when my kids were younger that what was being asked of me in order to quote unquote prove myself was to take away the time that my boys needed. And rather than fold on that, I decided that it was more important to be able to be here close to them. Um, you know, I
Yes.
deal with the single fatherhood. I mean, I deal with autism, which is
The,
important for the audience to also understand.
yeah.
And without being able to sort of work on that connection and dedicate time and focus to that, then it's like betraying yourself and your legacy for somebody else's.
And keep going forward, Yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, we could have a whole other podcast on just fatherhood and autism and, all that, dude. Which I think we should. We should do another one.
I'm really proud of what you said earlier. We took this pandemic and this, throwing everybody in a box and thinking through what it is, the projects that matter to us. And I'm both proud and humbled that you have me on and that you started it instead of just letting it lapse and have it on the list somewhere. Because I think having these conversations openly and being an open book is important for all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to help us just creatively too with other projects that we work on, anything, you and what you do and the things I do, the filmmaking and all that. This is just going to
Yeah.
enrich all those, things that we do. Right. So
Storytelling, media, music, art, film. It's an important way to share emotions with others, and we as a race, there's a lot of people that are closed down to feeling stuff. So it does come to the content creators to generate impactful content that makes people think. And I'm really proud of you. I want to follow you as much as possible on your career. because
Thanks, brother.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
valid,
and I'm here for you too, man. Like anything you need as far as what your path gives you, I'm here to back you up, dude, for sure.
absolutely. I will take you up on that. This coaching stuff is just will just get off the ground, but I think it'll have some legs for me, and I'll definitely need you. So
Yeah, man.
we'll
Yeah,
talk.
dude. All right, man. Well, that wraps up our episode of Mi Nerdo. We covered the episode of DuckTales, Once Upon a Dime. Yes. Adolfo Meza, we appreciate you being on the show, man. We're family, and we'll always be that, for sure.